Hello and welcome to the channel. This is CBSE Class 9 English Language and Literature Lesson 9 The Bond of Love. The story is about a sloth bear named Bruno who becomes a beloved pet of the author's wife. The author finds Bruno as a baby bear after his mother is accidentally killed in a sugarcane field near Mysore. The author captures the bear cub and gives it to his wife, who names him Bruno. She loves him dearly and treats him like a child, tying a ribbon around his neck and feeding him milk, fruits, vegetables, and even human foods like curry, rice, and ice cream. Bruno grows up playful and friendly, bonding with the family's dogs and the children in their bungalow. However, he gets into trouble twice, once by eating poison meant for rats, which almost kills him, but a vet saves him with injections, and another time by drinking engine oil, which luckily doesn't harm him. As Bruno grows bigger, he becomes too large to keep at home. So the family decides to send him to the Mysore Zoo. The author's wife is heartbroken and misses Bruno terribly. She learns that Bruno, now called Baba, is sad and not eating well at the zoo. After 3 months, the wife visits Baba at the zoo and he recognizes her instantly, showing great joy. She spends hours with him, feeding him treats. Unable to bear his sadness, she pleads with the zoo curator and the superintendent to take Baba back. They agree and Baba returns home to Bangalore. The family builds a special island for him with a moat around it for safety. Baba is happy again, playing with his toys and spending time with the author's wife, who visits him using a rope to cross the moat. The story shows the deep love and bond between the wife and Baba, proving that animals can have feelings, memory, and unique personalities. So, the story, The Bond of Love, is a heartwarming tale about a deep bond between a sloth bear named Bruno and the author's wife. It begins 2 years ago when the author and his companions were traveling through sugarcane fields near Mysore, India. They saw people shooting at wild pigs to drive them away from the fields. During this chaos, a sloth bear appeared, panting in the hot sun. The author didn't want to harm the bear, but one of his companions shot it, killing it instantly. As they looked at the dead body, they noticed movement on its back. It was a tiny baby bear, later named Bruno, who had been riding on his mother's back. The cub was scared and ran around its mother, making sad noises. The author chased the cub into the sugarcane field and managed to catch it by grabbing the scruff of its neck, even though it tried to scratch him with its sharp claws. They put the cub in a gunny bag and took it to Bangalore, where the author gave it to his wife as a gift. The author's wife was thrilled and named the cub Bruno after learning it was a male. She tied a colorful ribbon around his neck and treated him like her own child. Bruno quickly adapted to life with the family. At first, at first he drank milk from a bottle, but soon he began eating all kinds of food, including porridge, vegetables, fruits, nuts, meat, curry, rice, bread, eggs, chocolates, sweets, ice cream, and even drinks like tea, coffee, lime juice, buttermilk, and beer. He enjoyed everything with great enthusiasm. Bruno became very friendly with the family's two Alsatian dogs and the children of the tenants living in their bungalow. As a young cub, he was free to roam, playing, running into the kitchen, and even sleeping in the family's beds. However, accidents happened. One day, Bruno ate some barium carbonate poison that the author had placed in the library to kill rats. The poison paralyzed Bruno and he could not stand. He dragged himself to the author's wife, who called the author. Realizing what had happened, the author rushed Bruno to a veterinarian. The vet quickly found the right treatment in his medical books and gave Bruno 2 injections of an antidote. After the first injection, Bruno showed no improvement, but after the second, he slowly began to recover. Within 30 minutes, Bruno was back on his feet, eating happily as if nothing had happened. Another time, Bruno drank almost a gallon of old engine oil that the author had kept to fight termites. Surprisingly, this did not harm him at all. At this time, as time passed, Bruno grew much larger, reaching the size of the Alsatian dogs and even surpassing them. He was still sweet, playful, and mischievous, and he loved the author's wife the most. She changed his name to Baba, meaning small boy in Hindustani. Baba learned tricks like wrestling, boxing, or holding a stick like a gun when commanded. He also loved cradling a piece of wood he called his baby, which he hid in his straw bed. However, as Baba grew bigger, keeping him at home became difficult, especially because of the tenant's children. He had to be chained most of the time for safety. The author's son, friends, and others advised the wife to give Baba to the Mysore Jew, as he was too large for the house. Reluctantly, she agreed, and a letter was sent to the Jew curator, who accepted Baba. A cage was sent from the Mysore, 87 miles away, and Baba was taken to the Jew. The family, especially the author's wife, missed Baba terribly. She was heartbroken, crying, and refusing to eat for days. She wrote letters to the Jew curator to check on Baba, who was reported to be sad and not eating well. Friends visiting Mysore confirmed that Baba looked thin and unhappy. For 3 months, the author prevented his wife from visiting Baba, but she insisted, saying she would go by bus or train if needed. The author drove her to the Jew finally. At the Jew, Baba recognized her instantly and howled with joy. She spent 3 hours with him, feeding him tea, lemonade, cakes, and ice cream. When it was time to leave, both Baba and the wife cried. and even the Jew curator and keepers felt sad. The wife pleaded with the curator to let her take Baba back. The curator explained that Baba was now government property, but if the superintendent in Bangalore agreed, she could have him. The wife visited the superintendent, who was kind and allowed Baba to return. The Jew provided a cage to transport him back to Bangalore. Back home, the family built a special island for Baba, 20 feet long and 15 feet wide, surrounded by a 6-foot wide and 7-foot deep moat to keep him safe. A wooden box with straw was placed on the island for Baba to sleep in, and his favorite toys, a piece of bamboo that is gone and a wooden stump that is the baby, were returned to him. When Baba was released on the island, he was overjoyed, standing on his hind legs and playing with his toys. The author's wife visited him often, using a rope tied to a mango tree to swing across the moat. She would sit with Baba, who was now 15 months old and heavy, on her lap. The story ends by showing that animals like Baba can have strong emotions, good memory, and unique personalities, proving the deep love and bond between him and the author's wife. Thanks for watching, and thank you very much. Please like, share, and comment, and also subscribe to our channel. Hope it helps.